this December 4th regular session of the Oconee County Board of Education to order. First order of business is we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Move approval.
Mr. Burgess?
Second.
Mr. Ransom, all in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, we need a motion to approve the minutes from our November 6th regular session.
So moved.
Mr. Hammett?
Second.
Ms. Parrish, all in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, we have recognitions. Mr. Colquitt.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Branch. We've got some special folks to recognize tonight, so if you'll join us up front. And as you do that, I'll point out that the four-year art display this month is provided by students at High Shoals Elementary School, and their instructor is Charles Klinkenbeard. And if you went to the Watkinsville Christmas Parade yesterday, you got a sneak preview of their work because it was on the Board of Education Plus. First tonight, the board will recognize Mrs. Katie Chrisahan as the December Pursuit of Excellence Award winner for paraprofessionals. She will receive a $50 Visa gift card and a golf umbrella provided by Peach State Federal Credit Union, and additional gift cards from Shots and Hops and Rosie's Hometown Meats. A commemorative plaque is also being presented by Oconee County Schools.
Oh man, you're the show.
Miss Katie, this is where I get to embarrass you just a little bit, okay? This is from your application to be our winner. Katie is a genuine dream to work with. She has a positive and uplifting attitude with students and co-workers, is always willing to fill a need wherever it arises, and is a leader among the paraprofessionals. She extends the same love, acceptance, and grace to students, staff members, and colleagues. She has the innate ability to serve and support students of all abilities and backgrounds with an open and gracious heart. She is a problem solver, an overcomer, an innovator, and a dynamic member of our family. Kate is willing to step in as needed for various roles, from running small instructional groups to subbing as a teacher, covering the front office, decorating for the next big event, even wearing the beloved dragon mascot costume. Sometimes all in the same day. Katie is really, really good at her job. She is the glue that holds us all together. To Oak Creek Elementary's Katie Chrisahan.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hang on. Come on. You get what you
Did you
want,
get one?
Next, the board will recognize the 3A Boys State Champions in Cross Country, the Oconee County Warriors. The team members are Cooper Timberman, Aaron Broderick, Patterson Graham, Jonah Ferguson, Noah Schuer, Champ Blows, and Brendan Mullis, along with alternates Eli Beal, Noah Dixon, and Seth Lott. Their coaches are Jake Forster, James Norton, and Kendra Houghton. All right, everybody. All right, congratulations. Next, the board will recognize the 3A Boys State Champion in Cross Country. Make him come back around, but he's a runner, so he's used to that. Cooper Timberman of Oconee County High School.
Just stand right here in the center. You got your own PR team. That's what's good.
the board will recognize the Oconee County High School girls volleyball team. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of order. Next, the board will recognize the Oconee County girls cross-country team that came in third in the state in 3A. The team members are Ellen Patterson, Mary Matthews, Annabelle Wiktorski, Caitlin Crum, Kay McKees, Alyssa Tan, and Allie Parsons, along with alternates Addison Mooney, Emily Ping, and Sam Matthews. Their coaches are Jake Forster, James Norton, and Kendra Hope. Next, the board will recognize the Oconee County High School girls volleyball team that finished as the state runner-up in 3A. The team members were Kat Johnston, Petra Mooney, Jill Benning, Addie Everhart, Olivia Miller, Taylor Payne, Isabel Miller, Brinley Bartlett, Sydney Trinnell, Gracie Hobbs, Willow Powers, Ella Timlin, Braylon Balcom, Bailey Bartlett, Sophie Veal, Izzy Bodie, Elizabeth Wynn, Callie Hayes, manager Tyler Bringoff, and coaches Mark Oglesby and Rachel Ritchie. Amanda, bring them up.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on, ladies. All right, same thing. There you go. Yeah, the guys didn't do that for us. One more. Thank you. Congratulations.
I should have gotten a ranch. There should be a ring of my finger right now.
Next, the board will recognize the Georgia Volleyball Coaches Association's 3A All-State team members from Oconee County High School. Isabel Miller, Brinley Bartlett, Bailey Bartlett, Olivia Miller. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Next, the board will recognize the Student Strategic Planning team members, Alicia Deutsch of North Oconee, Ella Hayes of Oconee County High, Sunil Doshi of Oconee County Elementary, Maynard Zhao of Rocky Branch, Griffin Patterson of Oconee County Middle, Burke Seagraves of Malcolm Ridge Middle, and Hayden Argo of Dove Creek Middle.
Thank you, guys. Mom yet?
Definitely.
Thank you.
And finally, it's my pleasure to tonight to recognize the Board of Education on its designation again as an exemplary board by the Georgia School Boards Association. The board has earned this recognition each year since 2015. In addition, it is with great pride that we recognize Ms. Kim Argo, the Chair of the Board of Education, for her 15 years of service to the district and the community. Ms. Argo, congratulations. Board members, thank you for all your efforts.
Anybody else?
And that concludes recognitions.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. It's going to be hard to top all of the things that we have just seen. So thank you for giving us a few minutes on your agenda tonight to share a few things about High Shoals Elementary School. So over the last 5 years, we have steadily increased our student achievement, and we have won numerous awards, and we have been here for you to present those to us. So tonight, we would like to take a few minutes to share what we believe is foundational to our success. And that is a vibrant culture, a strong climate, and an engaged community of stakeholders. So tonight, you are going to hear from 2 teachers, a parent, and a student who will share some of the things that take place at High Shoals that relate to our positive culture, climate, and community.
Good evening. So a school's climate and culture is something that you should feel upon entering the building. It should ignite the passion for learning while providing support and encouragement. It sets the bar in reflecting high student expectations and promoting parent involvement. At High Shoals Elementary School, this is exactly what we feel when we enter our building. We're not just a school, but we're a big extended family. We rally around our students and our school family communities in times of need and support. For example, this past September, which is reflected in one of these pictures on the slide behind you, you can see where we went gold for childhood cancer awareness and participated in Pennies for Patients alongside one of our families in our school with a student that had just battled childhood cancer. Our PTO is top-notch. The support and opportunities that they provide our teachers and students within our school are hands down the best. Parents often can be found volunteering, pushing around the woohoo cart, providing teachers and staff with a perfectly timed pick-me-up of snacks, sweets, and sometimes even supplies. This week, they're gearing up to kick off one of our school's most favorite events of the year, Santa's Workshop. And this is a week-long activity where parents can be found supporting our students with shopping, wrapping, and all the things that makes them so happy when they get to take home a little gift to put underneath their tree. And their smiles on their face after that are just priceless.
So culture beats strategy every time. The new programs, the new technology, the new ideas, the new trainings, all add up to nothing if the people implementing them don't work together and love each other. Culture is the beliefs and customs that keep a faculty working as one. It's the sweet smell of our monthly potlucks with laughter amongst staff sharing a meal together. It's the sound of a sigh let out by a tired mama, like myself, who has been grateful to her colleagues who provide meals 4 days as she navigates through the newborn stage. It's the sweet surprise we get as we come into our classroom to find an uplifting note and a treat from our secret pal delivered after a long day. It's the sound of our admin jingling all the way as they share holiday cheer throughout our building for the 10 days of Christmas. At High Shoals, we have an expectation for success, and we have a culture that nurtures it. Our staff treat each other as more than just teammates, but friends too, and we hold each other accountable. We know how to lift one another up and how to keep each other motivated. We have a lot of amazing teachers and who are plenty motivated on their own, and it's nice to be surrounded by greatness. It makes you try harder, it makes you care more, it makes you do the extra thing. All the amazing things that are happening are not due to the test scores being outstanding. It's the work ethic and culture in our building. High Shoals is not just a place that we come to work, it's a place that we come to belong. My name is Anna Williams, and I'm a parent of 2 High Shoals Hawks. Ward is a 4th grader, and Avery Kate is in kindergarten this year. As someone who attended Oconee County Schools from K through 12th grade myself, my expectations for High Shoals was high. I had a terrific educational experience and only wanted the same for my children. Goodness, I'm so grateful that their experience has been stellar thus far. Keeping my remarks brief about the outstanding climate and culture of High Shoals Elementary proved difficult, so I've chosen 4 adjectives that I think encompass the culture that has been created at High Shoals from my perspective as a parent. High Shoals Elementary is holistic. They care about every aspect of my child, not just their test scores. Safe. I know that when I drop them off each morning, they're in good hands. Encouraging. The staff at High Shoals are their students' biggest cheerleaders. They celebrate their accomplishments and inspire them to do their best. And S, for sincere. It has been evident to me as a parent that the students, teachers, and staff at High Shoals genuinely care about their school community and have created a special culture and climate as a result. As a parent, I am deeply grateful for my children to be at High Shoals Hawks and to be part of this exceptional culture.
So this is my friend Nora. Nora is a kindergartner, and Nora, she wants a chair. She wanted to stand up on the podium. She told me. You climb right up there. So Nora and I met when she came to High Shoals in March for kindergarten screening. I was back mingling with some of the other parents, and I got called up to the office because this sweet girl came in and was asking everybody, who is the principal? Are you the principal? I want to meet the principal. Tonight she came in the door and the first thing she said to me was, where is Dr. Branch? So she is always looking to meet the person in charge. So Nora has a few things that she wants to share about her experience at High Shoals.
My name is Nora Esho, and I am in kindergarten at High Shoals. Miss Bell is my teacher, and she teaches me a lot of new things. At my school, I get to learn new things, addition, school rules, and how to read chapter books. This year, I went to Eek on a field trip. I got to wear my bluey pajamas to school one day. I had a tailgate with my class to kick off college football. Even though I already Saints, one of my favorite days was the day I got to be a mermaid for the book character parade. My favorite class at school is explorations, where I learn about states of matter, solids, liquids, and gases. High Shoals is my favorite place to be.
I would echo Nora and say that High Shoals is my favorite place to be, and it is a joy and an honor to serve as the principal there, and I thank you for the opportunity to do that.
Thank you. Nora, can we get a picture with your principal and our superintendent and the school board? Would you come up and let us get your picture? Come on up. You around there.
That's right.
I need a Kleenex. You got one in your sleeve. I know. She read that. She's kindergarten.
All right, folks, looking right here. Dora, can you look at me, sweetie? There you go. Hold on. All right, hang on. Got a few more.
You're a movie star.
Next on our agenda is superintendent's report. Dr. Branch.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know how to follow that. I'll be honest. That's, you know, we started off, it's always great when we have so much success in the school district that we can't put it in this room. And so we started that way, and then what a wonderful presentation about the work that takes place to make the success that we celebrated prior. So I'm just going to highlight out some more of that success, starting with the addition of a new Chief Financial Officer, LaWanda Hankins. LaWanda, will you stand and be recognized? We want to welcome Today is LaWanda's first day, so we're going to do her the solid of letting Dan Smith, our interim CFO, do the board report tonight. But also want to take a minute to thank Dan for answering my call a few months back to agree to be the interim to help us get to this point, and then also assist in the process to help us get to LaWanda. So we're excited about LaWanda joining our team and the expertise that she brings. But also a little sad to see Dan go away again, but he told me he's ready to go back wearing short pants and no socks. Thank you, LaWanda. Thank you, Dan. Board members, as you know, we had the opportunity last week to attend the GSBA-GSSA annual winter conference, and feel like that was a very productive week for our governance team. Of course, we were, as you've seen, been honored as the exemplary board once again for the good, stellar work and governance that you do, as well as celebrating Ms. Argo's 15 years of service. We did point out to Ms. Argo that there is a 20-year pin, and I'm sure the room agrees with me that we'd love to see her achieve that status as well. One other award that was received while we were there is the GSBA Leading Edge Award. And that was presented to Oconee County Schools for our special education division for their on-campus and community-based vocational training. And so Ms. Suzanne Korngold, our Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, was there and received that award. And we just want to thank Suzanne for all the good work and her staff that helped us achieve that status, which again is just a reflection on doing what's right for kids. So congratulations, Suzanne. Oconee County High School and North Oconee were once again named Advanced Placement School Honor Roll. That continues a trend that we've seen for nearly a decade, I believe, or more. Also, a new opportunity for our students that started just in the last couple of years here, North Oconee and Oconee County girls flag football teams have both made it into the state playoffs. And so if you haven't had a chance to see them play, then I would encourage you to go out. North is actually be hosting because they were the area title, won the area title in their division in only their second year, and Oconee in its second year also made the playoffs. The championships, if you want to go ahead and put this on your calendar, are at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December the 11th. So we hope our young ladies get a chance to participate in that, but either way we're very proud of their outstanding work that they're doing in representing our school system and themselves in this new opportunity that once again the board provided by agreeing in the budgetary process to support that, and we thank you for that. We've got another national champion in FFA. Malcolm Bridge Middle School's Emmy Walker and Hazel Brubaker were first in the FFA National Agri-Science Fair Plant Systems competition, working on a soybeans project in concert with UGA's Department of Horticulture. So I'm sure we'll be recognizing those young ladies at a later date, but wanted to recognize that. Always great when we have national champions, state champions, and students that are excelling at such a high level. A few more items to celebrate. All 10 of our eligible schools have been named on the U.S. News and World Report's best list. So we have 2 schools that are not eligible. Oconee Primary is not eligible because it's a primary school, and Dove Creek Middle School is not eligible yet because these are based on the results of the 22-23 school year. But Dr. Eddie assures me that they'll be eligible next year. Right, Dr. Eddie?
I'm on it.
There you go. So we want to congratulate those again. We appreciate the awards and recognitions because it demonstrates the success of our students, and we value that greatly. 2024 Don Cargill STEM Scholars, we had 3 of those. Rachel Carter from Oconee County Elementary, these are teachers. Amy Rivera rather, of Dove Creek Elementary, and Marcy Johnson of Rocky Branch Elementary. And each of those teachers received $500 from the Georgia Youth Science and Technology Centers to be utilized in order to support the STEM work that's taking place in our schools. We also had the 2023-24 Teacher Policy Fellow. There are only 20 of these chosen throughout the state of Georgia. And Miss Heather Bowie of Dove Creek Elementary was selected this year, and so we're excited for the outstanding work that we know Miss Bowie will lead there. A couple more things. Again, though, lots of success. Apologize for the length of our celebrations here, but we want to celebrate that North Oconee High School has won back-to-back state championships in the one-act play. They won in the 4A title with Nevermore, the Imaginary Life and Mysterious Death of Edgar Allan Poe. And so we had Max Patrick, who was the best actor for the state, as well as Lydia Peck and Sydney Singer, who were all-star cast members. And again, this is back-to-back state championships for that group. Finally, we want to thank Caitlin Brand, our Director of Nutrition, and the entire school nutrition staff, as well as the staff of our schools, for hosting the Thanksgiving feasts. 7,427 meals were served during the Thanksgiving feast. And so we know there are an incredible amount of planning that went into this and effort, and we just continue to value this at a great level because it's a wonderful opportunity to open our doors to the community. You see aunts, you see uncles, you see grandparents, and that's with us limiting the number of people that can come in. So thank you, Caitlin, and all of our nutrition staff and all those that made this a great event. And finally, moving from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I want to thank the board for taking your time to participate in the Watkinsville Christmas Parade. Great turnout, and we had good weather. We weren't throwing candy in pouring rain to no one standing there as we did a couple years ago. But I also want to thank so much Mr. Charles Klinkenbeard and his students at High Shoals Elementary. They helped design, or really did design, and create the float that you see. And visitors in the room, if you came in, the items in the front of our foyer area, those are items from our float, and all created by the High Shoals art teacher and his students. And so we appreciate Mr. Klinkenbeard for his efforts there. That concludes Superintendent's report, unless there are questions.
Thank you, Dr. Brand.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we have presentations and discussions. First, we have teaching and learning. Welcome, Dr. Stansel.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. The December 2023 Teaching and Learning Report contains 3 items of information and no action items. Okay, the first item item of information is our 8th grade career fair. The annual 8th grade career fair was held on Friday, November 17th at the Oconee County Civic Center. Students from all 3 middle schools had the opportunity to network with local businesses and post-secondary institutions. We are thankful for all our partners who participated in the event and provided students with information and advice about working in their industry. The CTAE programs from both high schools were also present to help students make connections between careers and high school pathway classes. And these are our partners listed here. Okay, the second item of information is an update on Georgia Match. Georgia Match is new this year and is a simple way for high school seniors to know which colleges they will be admitted to based on their recent high school HOPE GPA. The Georgia Student Finance Commission, along with Georgia Futures, mailed every high school senior a letter with information about this program. It also included instructions for these students on how to log in to their Georgia Futures accounts. Once they're in the platform, students can see a list of colleges that are an academic match for them. And if they decide to apply to that list, any college on that list, they would automatically be admitted to that school. Students can see how much tuition would be, the distance of each school from their home, and either click a button to request more information or to claim their spot. We have already heard lots of great feedback from students and parents regarding this new tool. The third item of information is an update on our strategic planning process. We had a very successful planning team meeting in November and made lots of progress in establishing our goal areas for the OCS strategic plan. And you can see in these pictures some of the students who were also able to be with us to help us make some important decisions, and they were able to be recognized here tonight. As you can see, the next step in this process will be our action team meeting, which will take place in January. We will work with district leaders, principals, and teachers to develop measurable goals, initiatives, and action steps under each of the goal areas. And that concludes my report, unless there are any questions. Thank you.
Next, we have technology. Welcome, Dr. White.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Branch. Technology has 2 items for tonight's board regular session meeting that will be action items for the January 8th, 2024 meeting. The first item are Chromebooks that are scheduled to be replaced based on our replacement cycle. VirtuCom will continue to honor the request for proposal pricing for Chromebooks that was approved by the Board of Education at the January 9th, 2023 regular session. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve VirtuCom with a bid of $1,405,814 for 2,898 HP G9 Chromebooks and 628 HP X360 touchscreen Chromebooks. This project will be paid for using ELOS and general fund dollars. The second item are desktop computers that are scheduled to be replaced based on our replacement cycle. Lightspeed will continue to honor the request for proposal pricing for desktop computers that was approved by the Board of Education at the January 9th, 2023 regular session. The superintendent's recommendations for the Board of Education to approve Lightspeed with a bid of $78,400 for 98 desktop computers. This project will be paid for using ELOS and general fund dollars. As a note, technology will also be posting RFPs for teacher laptops and a backup solution this month as well. This concludes technology's report, unless there are any questions.
Mr. Burgess.
Brian, what percentage of our total Chromebook account or numbers does this replace?
We budget a certain number of Chromebooks for loaners, so this is roughly 3,500 devices, so this is just around a third.
Okay, so about a third of our total.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep us on that cycle.
Yes,
Great, thank you.
Could you refresh me on why the delay between January to now on the replacement cycle on the Lightspeed?
We took several hundred desktop computers to the board last January, and we're still able to get that reduced price.
Okay.
So that's why we are bringing that again to the board, just for a different number of desktop computers. computers at that same price.
Okay.
So same per
Gotcha.
unit price, but fewer devices.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we have business services. Welcome, Mr. Smith. We're gonna miss you.
I want to miss y'all too. But I'm just going to say this about LaWanda. You're going to need another wizard hat. I've worked with her for way more years than we'd like to admit, probably about 24, and she's always been on my speed dial. So you're in good shape. I told her 2 or 3 times today, I can't believe you're here. I just kept looking at her. I'm so glad you're here. So we have our standard 7 reports that we have each month. The first is the cash balance report, which illustrates our cash by our funds, various funds. We have our vendor payments for the month of November, which details all of the checks and total amounts that we have written to each of these vendors. We have our budget report. Remind you that this comes in 3 different parts. The first is the revenue. The second is expenditures by function, and then the remaining of the report is detailed function and object. We have our SPOS collections. I'd like to point out that we are now above $1 million. We had a little dip last month, and someone very non-subtly pointed out that my predecessor was always over 10%. We are now back over 10%. So I listened to you and I went shopping. So we are, about 10.7% above where we were last year. Our rolling average is almost 16%. So our SPOS collections are coming in very healthy. We have our SPOS 5 report. This first slide is the revenue side, and then we have our expenditure side. And then we have our SPOS 6 report, which is done the same way, our revenue and our expenditure. And then finally, our federal reports, federal funds reports. First page is the revenue. Second page is the expenditures. Each month I remind you that federal funds are given to us on a reimbursement basis, so there's always a month or 2 lag between the expenditures and the actual reimbursement on that. And that concludes the finance report, unless you have questions.
Questions? Mr. Burgess?
Just a comment. And I wanted to echo Jason's comments that you made earlier. I had the good fortune to be on the board when you were here as our chief financial officer before, and always appreciated your work and your diligence and your presentation. Really appreciate you be willing to come back and help us when we had a chance, when we had a need for an interim and to find a successful replacement. So,
well, I'm not sure I would have done it for anybody else.
I can only imagine what it's like to come out of retirement. I'm not sure I would have done it. Thank you very much.
I did it for a company.
Thank you,
Dr. Briggs. Thank you.
Next, we have human resources. Welcome, Mr. Cofer.
Thank you. Good evening, board members of Dr. Branch. Tonight's human resources report contains 1 item of information and 1 action item. Our item of information this evening is our benefits review committee. As we continue to strive for excellence in the benefits that we offer to our employees, we are excited to share that this spring we'll be undergoing a comprehensive review in partnership with our supplemental benefits broker, Alexander & Company. A committee of employees representing multiple job families will be selected in January and take part in a redesign class that allows us in HR to hear directly from our employees what is on their minds as it relates to their benefits. Employees will learn the purpose behind the coverage currently in place and provide feedback on changes they feel would enhance the offerings to all employees. Our broker will take this feedback to the market and prepare bids for our desired products and return to our committee with prices and details related to each. At that time, the committee, with help from our advisors at Alexander & Company, will select the supplemental benefits to be offered in the fall during our annual open enrollment season with an effective date of coverage of January 2025. Our action item for this evening is the 2025-2026 academic calendar. As you know, we placed this calendar on the table for review at our November 6th board meeting. We have received limited feedback from our faculty and staff, and that feedback aligns with previous words that we received from our advisory committee. At this time, the superintendent's recommendation is for the board to approve the 25-26 academic calendar as presented. This concludes what Human Resources has prepared for this evening, but we remain available for any questions.
Any questions? Thank you. Next, we have our Associate Superintendent's report. Welcome, Dr. Liddell.
Thank you, Ms. Argo. Good evening, everyone. The Associate Superintendent report tonight contains one item of information and 3 action items. The first item of information is our school nutrition participation. Happy to report that we've seen an increase in both breakfast and lunch participation when compared to November of the last school year. The first 2 action items for this evening are resolutions for the board. As a reminder, the State Department of Education requires resolutions from the local board to amend our capital facilities plans, as well as our applications. So the first resolution, or the first action item, is a resolution to amend the FY23 capital outlay application. This is in regard to the modification project at Oconee County Elementary School. During the course of that project, it was determined that it was more prudent to repair portions of the roof rather than replace it. So the superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve the resolution to amend the FY23 application to remove the scope from the Oconee County Elementary modifications of that roof replacement. The second action item is a resolution to extend our 5 years facilities plan. Board members, as you are aware, we have a 5-year facility plan that we submit to the Department of Education. That plan is due to be reworked this semester. However, due to the fact that we are right in the middle of our strategic planning process, and we want the ability to include the results of that strategic planning process in our 5-year facilities plan, this resolution would allow us to hold off just 1 more year so we can include the totality of the results of that plan. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve the resolution to request an extension of the current 5-year local facilities plan so the results of that strategic planning process can be included. And the third action item is a field trip. Dove Creek Middle School Band and Chorus would like to travel to Charlotte, North Carolina, March 22nd and 23rd. Next spring, they will be performing at the Carowinds Amusement Park. Superintendent's recommendation is to approve that as presented. That concludes the Associate Superintendent's report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Student Services. Welcome, Ms. Corngold.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Branch. Student Service report for December 4th contains 1 information item and no action items. The first item for information is the Special Olympics Area Games. 2 teams from Oconee High School competed in the Special Olympics Basketball Area Games. It was a 3 basketball on 3 at Athens Academy. We had teams from Oconee, Clark, Morgan were all in attendance. We also had students who attended the All-Star Bowling, which also was on November 3rd, and all of the participants there received medals. That's all of the information items for tonight. I only want to make one acknowledgement to our pilot club here in Oconee County, who has graciously offered to give a special treat to all of our special education teachers, paras, and SLPs. They're providing a small treat of a breakfast through 3 schools starting tomorrow through Friday, going to each of the schools, providing a special treat in acknowledgement of all of their hard work and dedication. So I just want to say thank you to the Pilot Club for always extending their positive support to our department.
Thank you. Next, we have operations. Welcome, Mr. Ricketson. I love the red coat.
Thank you. The Oconee County Schools Operations December 4th, 2023 Board of Education report contains 5 items of information and 1 action item. The first item of information is the energy report for the month of October has been updated. Second item of information is the lead custodian meeting. The November lead custodian meeting was held on Thursday, November the 9th, and was hosted by the team at Malcolm Bridge Elementary School. The team discussed cleaning tips for LVT flooring, as well as tips to prevent the spread of head lice in schools. Our custodial teams are to be commended for the rigorous work ensuring that our schools are clean for health. Third item of information is the 2023 Can-a-thon. Oconee County Schools collected 37,823 cans and $4,434 for the annual ACTS Can-a-thon. Cans were collected from Monday, October the 30th through Friday, November the 10th. These donations will go a long way to help support families of Oconee County. Fourth item of information is a construction update. As you can see, the new Instructional Support Center, if you've driven by lately, they're really making a lot of progress. In the photograph on the right, you can see there's plastic hanging down on the left-hand side of the building. That's actually a photo from the rear facing out towards the highway. They put up plastic so they could continue to lay bricks even in the rain. So they're really moving forward, making a lot of progress inside of the building as well as outside of the building. Next is Malcolm Bridge Elementary. I'm happy to report that heat is on in the building, the ceiling tiles have been installed, it's been painted, and they're installing flooring this week. So things are going really, really well at Malcolm Bridge Elementary also. Fourth item, continuing on, the tennis courts at both high schools. The work is complete with the exception of a few punch list items. They've got a little concrete to pour and some electrical items that the engineers found that they need to correct. So they're on track to finish this month. Lastly, just an item of information, Rocky Branch Elementary School renovations and modifications. We are finalizing the documents for that project this week. We're going to be advertising for proposals start on December the 14th, expecting proposals to come in the end of January. So that's progress continues on there. The fifth item of information is the transportation update. We had 79 field trips, 38 athletic trips, 34 special education trips. Total number of buses deployed was 167 for a total of 10,275 miles. And just a point of interest, I've been studying to get my CDL as well. I'm about getting close to taking the test. Finally, our action item is the furniture purchase for the Instructional Support Center. It's time to go ahead and order the furniture so it'll be ready when it's time to move into the building. It's the superintendent's recommendation for the Board of Education to approve the furniture for the Instructional Support Center from Ernie Moore's Enterprises for $727,870.60 and Georgia Correctional Industries for $105,325. That concludes the operations report unless there are any questions.
Any questions? Mr. Burgess?
Fred, on the energy report, I haven't asked about this in a long, long time, but I just have continued to notice over the whole year that our energy consumption has continued to stay at or below any historical norms, and it's kind of trending at the very bottom of what we've had for a long time. You got any perspective on what we're doing that's allowing us to keep that energy usage down at that
Well, I
level?
will tell you, you caught me a little off guard with that, but I also can tell you Steve Brodenbaugh will be very thrilled to know that you noticed that. I know that our maintenance team works very diligently to conserve energy. It's from some of the smallest items, like over the Thanksgiving break, one of the maintenance persons went in to the schools just to make sure all the lights were off and make sure that, and also probably the biggest item is all of our schools now are on automated control systems, which means that maintenance can access the program for the lights, for the air conditioning from their phones, and actually schedule times for them to go into setback modes. So, for instance, in most of our schools by now, the temperature is turned back. Most of the lighting is off, and it only comes on for events and certain things. So there's a number of different things that they do. They actively work to continue to manage our utility usage and keep it as efficient as possible.
Very good. I mean, any system as large as ours with as much square footage as we've got in buildings, the energy use and energy bill is going to be a big component of our monthly and annual budget. So obviously, every little piece you can do with that is a huge savings. So congratulations to all of you guys for paying attention to that. It's something a lot of people don't pay attention to, but obviously somebody is because we're doing quite well with it.
And something's worthy of noticing, we did add 156,000 square foot middle school. That's right. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just one comment, board members, as Steve comes up, we call Fred Claus during this time of the year, and I did ask if he would wear his Santa suit that he's known to have, but he decided that that would not be appropriate, so therefore he came in the red blazer, which I think is even better.
Always got it, okay. Next is communications. Welcome, Mr. Colquitt.
Thank you, Ms. Argo. The communications report tonight features the highlights video for November of the 12 schools in the district. And Angela, if you'll play that first. Another exciting month in the district for our schools and our teachers and our students. That concludes communications, unless there are any questions for me.
No, but next we have communications to the board. Do we have anyone signed up?
Yes, ma'am. We have 2 citizens signed up to address the board this evening. Before I call them up, I will read this. The board allows 3 minutes for those who sign up at the meeting. You must be a current resident of Oconee County to address the board. Please state your name, address, and topic. The board requests that you refrain from making any disparaging remarks about school system personnel. Generally, there will be no response to comments or questions posed by citizens at the meeting. All comments and questions will be received and taken under advisement by the board. However, any member of the board shall be free to respond and make public comments if he or she elects to do so. Our first citizen this evening is Ian Taylor.
Welcome, Mr. Taylor.
Sergeant, congratulations on the 15 years of achievement. I wanted to address you this evening about a mundane issue about the agenda, getting it out a little earlier, but something else more important I think has come up. So if you'll indulge me, I'm going to read a statement on behalf of Amanda Prohaska, who is the co-publisher of the Oconee Enterprise. As I understand, although there's no legal basis for limiting who can speak at the board meeting, I believe she has not been allowed to speak, to publicly respond to criticism of the board towards her business. So I'm going to read this statement by Amanda. Amanda is the co-publisher of the Oconee Enterprise newspaper. During the November Oconee County School Board meeting, Dr. Branch gave his report highlighting the accolades of students, teachers, and schools. A board member then stated, "You won't read about those things in our local newspaper. You won't hear about that from bloggers who write about what goes on in our school system. So I think it's important that you bring those forward and at least put them out there for people who are interested in what's going on in our school system to recognize incredible work, incredible effort, incredible preparation that's going on in a really good school system, as opposed to what a lot of people want to focus on, the more negative things that are not student-related, things that you're bringing forward. I'm here, Amanda's here tonight to directly refute that claim. In 139 years, the Oconee Enterprise had continuously supported students, teachers, and staff of schools within Oconee County. To date, in 2023, the Oconee Enterprise has published 219 articles with an additional 126 photos of Oconee County schools, teachers, students, and events. That is an average of over 7 articles or photos a week. This does not include the press releases featured almost weekly in our news roundup section. It also does not include the articles written by students we call young scholars, nor does it include stories about clubs or groups with loose affiliation to the schools. All that is to say, we pride ourselves on our coverage of Oconee County schools, and we are not alone. You will find stories from the Oconee County Enterprise cut out and stuck on refrigerators around the county. Just a few years ago, co-publisher Michael Paraska received the Electronic Beacon Award from the Georgia School Board Association for his coverage of Oconee County schools. We have also had the pleasure of attending career fairs hosted by some of our schools. The Oconee Enterprise is the longest running locally owned and locally operated business in Oconee County. We are also one of the few businesses afforded a space in the United States Constitution. We place a high value on our responsibility to the taxpayers of Oconee County to provide well-rounded coverage of all of Oconee County schools' activities and meetings, a service I believe we excel in. To say that we do not recognize the incredible work, effort, and preparation by our students, teachers, and staff is just not true. I will end with this. I took a look into our subscription database and noticed that not all of the board members currently subscribe to the Oconee Enterprise. I would be willing to offer any of you a free subscription so that you can read directly from the source each week. Thank you, and that's on behalf of the mayor. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Next is Pam Hendricks.
Welcome, Ms. Hendricks.
Thank you. Good evening. Once again, I'm Pam Hendricks. I live at 1151 Thornwood Drive. And tonight I just thought I would use my 3 minutes to remind the board, first of all, that in July you were holding $43.1 million of taxpayer dollars in your account. In August you were holding $38.5 million. In September you were holding $36.5 million. And in October you were holding $32.6 million. I just want to remind the board that it's my understanding that it's based on our budget that you really ought to be holding only possibly 10 to 15 million. So these figures are excessive. I wanted to point that out. I have really been trying to take a deep dive into the finances of our school system. And one thing that I just wanted to point out that's very odd to me, on every vendor report, at the very end, at every one, it has this 99999 one-time vendor charge. And this one's $5,099.20. That was in July. You know, they vary. They totally vary in amounts. I'm very curious about this. I was wondering if our auditors are concerned about this. I'm wondering if it's later corrected, and if so, then shouldn't there be a corrected vendor report submitted? But anyway, it's every one. It's always the last thing. This one's $2,428.28. It's just something. Then I had a friend of mine that she was actually the curriculum director in the Commerce City Schools. And she's kind of been reviewing these vendor reports for me. And the one thing that she came back to me and said is we are really heavy in technology. And I just want to say something to the board. I believe that we've gone through, you know, a big technology disruptive time. And, you know, they were all new and they were shiny and it was wonderful. But I recently read that California schools are reintroducing cursive writing. You know, California usually leads the nation in what they're doing, and it's very interesting to me. You know, we eliminated it. We thought, we're going to just use computers. Nobody needs to write. Nobody needs a pen or pencil. We're figuring out that's not true. And I also sort of contributed to the fact that we have these ELOS funds, and I think y'all have a hard time almost spending what we're taking in. Those, and I'm old enough to remember that it was supposed to be a one-time 4-year tax, and we are now in number 6, which means we're now in the 25 years of it. So it's been almost my entire adult life that we've been doing these 1-cent sales tax. And that concludes my remarks for tonight.
Thank you.
And that concludes the communications to the board.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is action items. Dr. Branch.
Yes, ma'am. Would recommend the approval of the 2025-2026 academic calendar as presented.
Need a motion to do so.
So moved.
Mr. Burgess.
Second.
Mr. Hammack, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Up next, Instructional Support Center furniture purchase. You heard that presentation by Fred. Would recommend the approval of those vendors at the dollar amount stated. Is the recommendation.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Ransom.
Second.
Mr. Burgess, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, we have a resolution to amend the FY23 capital outlay application. I believe that amended resolution also saved us money, and so we would recommend that be approved at this time.
Need a motion to do so.
So moved.
Mr. Hammack.
Second.
Ms. Parrish, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Next is the 5-year local facilities plan. As you've heard from Dr. LaDuff, we do want to do a 1-year extension of that, so we would recommend approval as presented.
We need a motion to do so.
So moved.
Mr. Burgess.
Second.
Mr. Hammack, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, final item we have is the Dove Creek Middle School Band and Chorus Field Trip. We would recommend approval as presented.
And we need a motion to do so. Ms. Parrish.
Second.
Mr. Ransom, all in favor? Passes 5-0. We do have a need to go into executive session and need a motion to do so.
I'll make a motion that the board will adjourn to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon personnel matters as described on the affidavit to be attached to the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Parrish. We need a second.
Second.
Mr. Hammack, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, board members, we'll take a few minutes to clear the room.